Welcome to the Top Secret Wedding Podcast. Our top secret tip for today is if you don't have a separate business banking account, get a business banking account.
Want to learn how to get your finances in order using the Profit First method for your business? Listen to this episode. This is the Top Secret Wedding Podcast, where we share top secret tips to help you take your wedding game to the next level.
I'm Annika, and I'm a wedding coordinator, enthusiast, and venue manager for one of the best venues in Idaho.
I'm Chris, and I'm a DJ, master of ceremonies, and all-around lover of weddings.
We're on a mission to improve weddings and wedding professionals everywhere.
Today, we're talking about something so fun.
We're talking about accounting. So I took an accounting class in college, and it was terrible.
Really?
Like I've taken Spanish classes. I felt like it was as confusing as learning a new language.
Yeah.
Because
no, totally.
It was a different math.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. That's why I hire it out.
Yeah.
I'm like,
100%. So I think it's important that we talk about accounting, because if you don't know where your money's going, are you really running a business?
I think that's the thing. Like, again, I always reference this, but a budget, it shouldn't be your money telling you where it needs to go. It should be you telling your money where it needs to go.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about what I use. I use something called Profit First. I love it. There's a book that's, just Google it. It's an amazing book. I highly suggest that you read the whole thing, because what I'm sharing is like the thumbnail of the whole idea. Like, this is boiled down. So it's a process, and it's a mindset of how to do accounting. So Profit First, the whole idea, the reason he calls it Profit First is because if you have a business, Annika, and you have $1,000 to run that business, how much are you going to spend? You're going to spend $1,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
If you have $10,000, you're going to spend $10,000 to run that business. So the idea is, when you are making money in your business, take out the profit first, and you'll figure out how to run your business on whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Agreed.
So that's the first thing. So the steps to do this are, first, you have to have a bank account specifically for your business. And in fact, you should have multiple bank accounts. Doesn't cost any money to have multiple bank accounts. It's free. So I'll break down what I have in mine. But these are the different types of accounts that I have open. So I have an operating expenses, and I'm going to go into what each of these are for. A taxes account, a profit account, an equipment account, and an owner's pay account. I also have a hold account. And I'll go into all these. So the purpose of each of these accounts is to allow you to, at a glance, open up your bank account statement, or not even your statement, just like open the app and look at your accounts and say, okay, that's the health of my business.
Yep. Super
awesome. And I do this almost daily just to look at my business, like, okay, we're doing okay, right? So here's how I work it. The operating expenses account, everything goes into that. And most things come out of that as well. And I'll explain that. So if I get a check, any Venmo deposits, any cash, I put it all into the operating expenses account first. I also, whenever I pay my employees, comes out of that. Whenever I pay for a hotel, comes out of that, right? So that's just my day-to-day operating expenses that are coming in and out, right?
Totally.
My next account is my taxes account. So in my bank account app, I have percentages next to the taxes. I have, I'm not going to say what the amount is because I don't want to give any financial, but I have a percentage and then taxes. So I have, for example, this isn't the number, but for example, I would put 20 taxes. So I know that any amount of money that comes in, I take 20% of it and I put it into the taxes.
Yep.
Right. And then I've got profit. For me, I don't mind sharing this. For me, I found that 10% works for profit.
Yeah.
I take 10% out of the business for profit and I just put it in the account.
Yep.
The profit account is really just there for the profit of the business, not my personal profit, the profit of the business.
Yes.
So this is in excess of operating costs and taxes and all of those things. It's there, and there are tons of different things you can use this for. You can use it to do like special marketing or special training. You could upgrade your website. You could give Christmas gifts to your employees, for instance, right? So that's profit. And I think that you should put your profit account in a high yield savings account. Again, most places it's free. You just have to have a minimum amount in there. In my bank, it's like $1,000 that you have to have for the minimum amount for the high yield, but you get a lot more back in interest every month. Okay, so operating expenses, taxes account, profit account, and I have an equipment account. The equipment account is there for anytime I need to make upgrades to my equipment. I put 10% of everything I earn into that equipment account. And the beauty of this is anytime I need to buy equipment, I no longer feel guilty.
Right, because you just have that separate account.
I'm excited. I'm like, sweet, it's there, right? I remember when I was first starting my business, like my wife and I would have to sit down and we'd have to discuss, because we only had our personal bank account, and we'd have to discuss, like, can we afford this new speaker? Let's look at our monthly expenses, and our rent and all. And I don't have to worry about that anymore because I've accounted for that. So I just let that build up, and then when I want, I can take money out and buy new speakers. So, and then I have an owner's pay account. And you can decide, I would work with an accountant that's familiar with Profit First, to kind of look at your business and figure out what a decent owner's pay is. And depending on the type of business you have, whether it's an LLC or an S Corp or whatever it is, that's going to look different on how you pay yourself. We're not going to go into that in this episode, but just know that there are some things that you should discuss with an accountant on that front and how you pay yourself. And then also there's the hold account, and the hold account is basically when I get money in for an event, for like a deposit, put money into that account so I don't spend it until I have actually fulfilled on the event. So, and I think that that's essential because in my contract it says no refunds, but there have been times where I've given refunds because of a death in the family or whatever. So you don't want to spend the money before you've earned it, really. So once a week I go in and I add up how much money I've made that week, and I set just a specific day to do that. Like every Tuesday I do it, and I go in and I'll say, okay, I put, what do we say for taxes? 20. So I put 20% in taxes. I put 10% in profit. I put 10% in equipment, and I put whatever I need to in my owner's pay, and I put whatever I need to in the hold account. And then I can look at my business and say, I'm operating within the amount that I need to operate within. If not, then I need to adjust those percentages a little bit. Maybe I can only put 5% into equipment because my people cost is higher, right? Paying my people. So it's a really, really easy way for somebody who doesn't like to do math, and it helps you to figure out where your business is just really at a glance. This is the way that I do it, and I think it works really, really well. My business is much healthier because of it. This should not be the end-all, be-all for your accounting. Like I said, you should have a professional look at your stuff. But if you're just starting out, this is the easiest way to get your finances in order. So, I love it. I think it's a great tool. But read the book.
Yep, agreed.
Yep. So that's accounting 101, or maybe even before 101. It's not even that high. But getting your finances in order, Profit First. Go check it out. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And I'll probably just refer you to the book, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't understand everything it talks about in the book. But
check out the book.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you soon.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Top Secret Wedding Podcast.
Subscribe, rate, and review us, and we'll see you next time.